Hi guys, Patty from Patty's Crafty Spot, and I'm here to share with you an album cover that I am making. However, I wanted to chance to try out these new tools that I got from Country Craft Creations, and I will leave a link down below. You can see my lights. So anyway, I was going to do this album cover, and I figured what better time to play with those new tools than when I'm making this one. I haven't made a large album in a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one and use these new tools. I'm also going to do the technique that Tamara does when she wraps her album covers. I thought it looked really interesting, so I wanted to give it a try. All right, so let's get started. So let's get started with the first one. So I already cut my cardstock out at 11 by 11, and this is 9 by 9. And that's what I'm going to use. So I have a 1-inch border, and I'm going to use my scoreboard. And I'm going to go ahead and line this up. So I have already gone ahead and added my score tape. And then I'm going to use these new tools that I got from Country Craft Creations. And these are 1-inch. And this way, if you go like this and like this, everything is already lined up. So you just make sure your paper is up tight against it, and then the tools as well. And then what you're going to do is just basically set this in so you have the 1-inch border. So let's give this a try. I have a feeling that this is going to make life so much easier. And I'm also going to try the way Tamara wraps her album covers, because it looked like it would be so much easier as well. So I haven't made a bigger album, and I thought this would be perfect to try. Get on the tape off. All right, let's make sure nothing moved. We're all good. And then basically, I'm just going to snug it right up against everything. Perfect. Look at that. Nice 1-inch border. Make sure that's down good. And I'm just pressing it up against the chipboard so it will fold nice. So now I can go ahead and add my tape. And I'm excited to see how this one is going to come out. And let me cut my corners. And I think I have a new tool somewhere. Hold on 1 second. Alright, so I did get a new tool. I knew I had it somewhere. I had to find it. So this is a new tool from Colorway Arts. And I use a lot of her spacers too for cutting. So this one's nice. This is a new one. This is a heavy metal. And now it'll cut straight across. So I originally had this tool from her, and it was too short on the side. So as you can see, if I were to put it on my paper, it was just a little short. So I just added a ruler to make it longer. But let's try this one. So I need a cutting mat. And let's cut off my corners. Now, if you don't have a tool, you can just take scissors and you could just cut it just like that. But I'm going to go ahead and use the tool. Because I have it. All right, and let's go ahead and get this one wrapped up. So I'm just going to fold on the corners just to get them folded. Just like that. And because I don't have tape that goes all the way over, I'm also running low. I have an order coming, but hasn't made it yet. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue right to the edge. Go ahead and get it good burnished. And stick that one down. And come to this side, do the same. And this one. And then now I'm just going to fold in these corners here, smush them down. And to this side. Nice. And you can see how nice and even that is there. So let's get this side. Glue first. And get this one down. All right, so there's our first cover, all nice and perfectly wrapped. All right, so I'm going to do the next one same way. Line it up. So these are definitely nice. I used to draw lines, but I don't think I'll be drawing lines anymore. So again, we're going to set it right down. And if you can make an album without any mistakes because of the tools, that's a win-win for me. Anything to make things easier. All right. Make sure we're all nice and tight everywhere. And looks pretty straight to me again. Nice. All right, get it all down. All right, and my tape again. Alrighty. And then let's cut up our corners. I love that she made a new one that's longer, because even though my ruler worked good, depending on how I did my knife, I would get it like kind of angled, so sometimes it wasn't perfectly straight. Did enough so I could definitely use it, but this one is nice. And last one. Okay. And then and then our glue. And how easy was that? And I'll go this way. And then let's do my sides. Push those side corner pieces down again. And some glue. Nice. And then the last one. And that's it for the cover pieces. You just got to do the spine now. Look at that. Again, perfect. Nice and clean. All right, so now we're going to work on the spine. So we're going to get started on the spine piece. So this one is 9 by 3. I cut my peeper at 11 by, forgot, 11 by 7, because I want 2 inches on the side. So what I'm going to do first is, let's go ahead, and I'm just going to score so I have a 2-inch spot. Where's my, I'm just going to score down an easy line, nothing crazy. And I'm going to get a pencil. So because these were a perfect 1 inch, I'm just going to go ahead and make a mark, trace out 1 inch. Could have done it with my scoreboard too, but I have the tools, so why not? So I have 1 inch, and then this is literally going to go right in the center, just like that. All right, so let's stick this one down. And just like that. So now I can go ahead and I want to fold this way and fold this way. This. So let's go ahead and do it this way. So I want to get a nice good fold on it like this. And that's just to get the paper trained. fold where I want it. And then I'm just pressing in on the paper to try to get it wrapped a little bit. Let's do this side too. Because basically what you're going to end up doing, you can see that really good on the camera, is this is going to go on here. So you want them pressed pretty good. So just go ahead and work that a little bit. All right, and now let's go ahead and fold this. Just like that. And then we do the same thing to the bottom. So fold it up on the chipboard first because you know it's squared right here, and then just press down. And it should stay straight for the most part. It's not going to matter too much because we are going to go ahead and cut that off. Just make sure our paper is molded. All right, so when that is done, what we're going to do now is we need to go ahead and we're going to cut from here to here because we don't want anything extra. See my line enough that way. Use that. All right, so now we're going to apply it so we can put this side down here. So I'm going to add my tape. Yeah. Use this so I don't tear my paper. And I'm going to use glue as well. So all right, so basically we're going to fold this down. Stick that down. Make sure it's creased up against the side. And then the same thing for the bottom or the top. All right, and let's just go ahead and get it. Keep working that paper. All right, and then what we're going to do now from the chipboard, right here, we want to cut a little angle just as if you're mitering it. So just like that. Have this now, and get that smushed down. So So basically what you're going to do now is we're just going to go ahead and add these right to the top, just like that, for our album cover. So let me go ahead and get some tape on here so we can stick that down. So I went ahead and added my tape. I didn't go all the way to the edge here because I did it on my book cover because I just didn't want to worry about getting it too far. So when you set it down, the cover itself is going to take up that space. All right, and then you just put your covers on like so. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So now on this here, you don't need a gusset, I guess. I'm going to try it without a gusset and see, because your book will actually close like this, and you're not going to need to go any further to open your book because you don't open a book like that generally. So I'm going to try it out. All right, so let's go for it. So just make sure when you're setting it down, you're lining it up to the bottom. And then it should be lined up just like that. I'll have to clean that tape up right there and there after. Let's do there. So let's do the other side. Cute. Look how easy that was. And all nice, clean edges. Love it. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean that up. I'm not going to score it into the cardstock, but close. All right, so let me go ahead and clean those up, and I will be back. All right, so all cleaned up, wipe that off, and then the book folds nice this way, should lay flat like this. So love it. All right, so anyway, that wraps up just my little demo on using these new tools from Country Craft Creations. And then there's also one that's 1.5 inches too. I like the 1-inch ones. And then I also use the new corner miter tool from Colorway Arts. And I will leave you a link to all that in the description box below. All right, until next time, guys, happy crafting. Bye.